Hi there, my name is Kevin Garcia, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for having MexAmeriCon again at the Cultural Center. We love being here. What I wanted to do is talk to you guys real quick about some of the artists and creators that are here, and also give you a sneak peek at some of the projects they have coming up. So right now, I'd like to introduce some of our people. Professor Latinx, Fede Aldama, please come here. Oscar Garza of Five Meats, please come up here as well. And then we have a special guest, surprise guest, David Bowles, acclaimed writer and educator as well. If you could join us as well as the mic.
Hey, everybody.
All right. So we are all creators. We're all professionals. We are also, in our own way, educators. And we want to get our message out there to kind of show who we are as a people, as a culture, and also just kind of spread awareness. I'm going to ask each of you to real quickly introduce yourself, and talk about some of the projects you've done recently. So, Professor?
Okay, so I'm a professor at UT Austin, right up the street here, and I am honored to be call these guys my friends, my colleagues, my creative genius cadre, and I am known as Professor Latinx among my comics community. And
you're known as that on the internet. All I have to do is Google Professor Latinx and you pop up, so that's what matters.
Okay, well, there you go. And I do kids' books. I'm a writer, like David over here, and Garcia. But I also am founder and director of BIPOC Pop, which is every March. And we bring creatives of color to the UT Austin campus, do panels, workshops, bring everybody together, industry people, scholars. Yeah, it's awesome. You guys have been a part of that in the past. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. And Oscar.
He's such a joke.
Oh man, that is the best.
No, I'm just kidding.
I can't believe he said that out loud.
Hey, everybody. I'm Oscar Garza. I'm part of Five Meats Comics, which is also part of Chispa. I'm also a comedy professional wrestler. I wrestle here out of Austin, Texas for Party World Wrestling, Fight Opera, and Slam Portal. And I draw and write comic books, and it's the best thing in the world.
Hi, and I'm David Bowles. As Kevin was saying, I am a writer, translator, and publisher of Chispa Comics.
And then I want to go back and introduce myself again. As I said, my name is Kevin Garcia. I have written for Marvel Comics. I actually wrote the life story of Namor, who is going to be representing in the movies this week, and I'm extremely excited about that. I actually wore my winged shoes for that reason. And also, I have written a independent comic, Teoatl, illustrated by Emmanuel Valtiera, who has a booth over there. In fact, several of us here have booths out there showing off some of our works. Fede, I know you've done Chupacabra Charlie and other children's books, which you have on your table.
Yeah, thanks, Garcia. Yeah, so I have, in Spanish and in English, two different versions, The Adventures of Chupacabra Charlie, and right now the short animated film is touring the world. It's doing really well, Carlitos Chupacabras. And I also have my kids' book, Con Papá, bilingual, with Papá. Both really exciting and important books for me. To me, one being that when I went to libraries, when my little girl was little, didn't see any of those books with just the kind of tenderness of the relationship between dads and kids. And so I knew at some point I wanted to write that one. My kid's now 16, so I kind of missed the window with her, but I'm hoping other kids and their papas will enjoy that one. Chupacabra Charlie, it hinges on an adventure where he and Lupe free children from cages on the U.S. side of the U.S.-Mexico border.
And Oscar, you have one of your books on the table right now.
Yes, right. Today we're selling our all-ages kids book, Lemon Pepper Hugs. It's about a bunch of silly little kids who get into silly little trouble and they have fun in their little neighborhood of New Brownsville. And it's an all-ages thing that we put together because we got tired of selling our naughty adult book to kids.
I think that's a sensible thing to do, Oscar.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking
Although,
of
I would have been one of the little kids buying the naughty adult book.
Yeah, MexAmeriCon 1 and 2, we sold a ton of Mashbone and Grifty to little kids, and I didn't lose sleep, but I felt maybe I shouldn't do that.
You're like, oh, ellos pueden con esto. Sí, sí.
Yeah.
No
You
les
know,
va a estar mal.
all the parents, I told you, this is not for you, and the parents would go, my kid watches Rick and Morty, it's okay, so they buy it.
Yeah, I know.
And speaking of writing for adults and for kids, David, can you talk to us about your acclaimed books and your most recent publication?
Yeah, so I mean, my most recent publication, or my most recent, the most recent 2 books that I'm here at the Texas Book Festival promoting are my 2 border towns, Mis Dos Pueblos Fronterizos, because it came out in English and Spanish, and They Call Her Fregona, which is my novel in verse, the follow-up to They Call Me Güero, my award-winning novel in verse. So I'm out there, the first book is for a much younger audience. It's a picture book, and the second book is for like middle grade and YA. So yeah, I think people like them a lot. They are both books that are set on the border, the place that Oscar and I come from, and Kevin too. That's right.
I'm also from
It's been a
Brownsville.
while since you lived down there, but you're definitely from
Puro 956.
representando el Valle.
And of course, the other reason I wanted to talk to you, though, is what Oscar brought up a minute ago, which is Chispa Comics,
Yeah,
which is
that's
kind
what
of
I was
something
about to
you and Hector are
segue into.
spearheading.
That's perfect. So yeah, Chispa is the Latinx imprint of Scout Comics. We formed about a year ago, and one of our very, very first projects was to acquire Mashbone and Grifty and bring these guys to the dark side. Well, they were already on the dark side. What am I talking about? And bring them into the fold. It's a great property. We really love it. And we're going to be rolling out that first graphic novel in the beginning of 2023. But we've also got this really, really great project coming out in 2023 called The 13. So Chispa is creating its own Latino superhero universe, and we're rolling that out with what we call our Mexican X-Men, who are the 13. And 2 of the one-shot comics that are coming out next year, explaining the origins of these, 3 of them are being written by Kevin and Fede and Oscar. So it's really cool to have you guys on stage and to be working with you on this project. And out there somewhere, I don't know, Laura Galan Wells is out there somewhere. There is another writer of this. Oh, there we go. She described what she was wearing so that I would see her when she walked around. So we have another one of our great writers out here. So I mean, it's like almost the entire 13 are here. It's pretty cool.
Can we talk about some of the characters that we're
Yeah,
working
why
on?
don't you guys talk about the characters that you're working on?
So I'm working on a character who is born on the sign of 13 Rabbit, and you were describing her as kind of like a squirrel girl type character. The way I've been kind of designing the story is like, imagine you have the most perfect, happy-go-lucky superhero, and then have them fight a unrepenting, relentless, and unstoppable villain. And then what happens when you throw them together? And that's kind of my goal with that story.
I'm doing a character called Blue Deer. One of the cool things about these characters is that their mutant powers come from their Mesoamerican day sign. So the names we're giving them, the powers we give them, they're associated to some extent with their day sign. So Blue Deer he's part Huichol, and so a lot of his powers come from that tradition, and they may have to do with hallucinogenic drugs. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's a different type of superhero, perhaps, than you might see in the MCU right now.
Yeah. And then Oscar's working on 11 Death.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the day sign.
The day sign, not the
yeah.
superhero
Revive
name.
is the name of the
I'm
character.
focusing on the day sign because I love the idea of drawing from that Mesoamerican culture.
Yeah.
That all these characters are following from that, even if their generations are moved, they're still following from that power.
Yeah.
So I'm co-writing this story with my writing partner, Rolando Esquivel, and I'll be illustrating it. And this is a character named Zoe Vidal, and her hero name is Revive. And she has a very interesting power. She can't be killed, so she's essentially...
Immortal.
Immortal, unkillable.
Just like me.
But she also has the power to resurrect people from the dead who've been dead for less than 24 hours. And I feel that's a very it's a rough, kind of a terrible power to have, because I feel personally it's the ultimate Spider-Man power / responsibility thing.
Everyone would
It's
have
like
expectations of you if that was
Yeah,
your
yeah.
It's hardcore. It's kind of like it's kind of like growing up lower middle class, and then you hit the lottery, and all your family is like, "Hey, can you help me out?" But this is like on a whole other level where
Yeah. Where you can't go around reviving every single person. You don't have enough time in the day.
right, and so it seems pretty messed up, and I can't wait to write it.
Yeah. And I think Messed Up is like kind of up your alley, right? A little bit?
Yeah, Messed Up is very much up my alley.
And then Fede, you're having a character born on the day 3 Flint.
Well, so Pyroclast spoke to me, and even more so once I saw the design, visual design, because, and I'll let David and Garcia maybe fill in some of the pre-Columbian backdrop to this character, but Pyroclast spoke to me because maybe the most significant superhero in my life when I was a kid, and we moved from Mexico to rural Northern California, and I was getting bullied every day, was Ben Grimm. And Pyroclast spoke directly to my kind of wish fulfillment desires as a little one, getting bullied in the playground, who wanted that impenetrable, rock-hard skin.
Yeah.
And also, you know, Ben Grimm comes from a situation that many of us relate to. You know, wanting to get out, and, you know, I wasn't the athlete that got out, but, you know, we got out in maybe some other ways from
Still growing
communities.
up in that rough neighborhood and
Yeah.
trying to get out of that rough neighborhood. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and Pyroclast is 3 Flint, and so Flint, obviously, granite, stone, perfect kind of like thing, but Flint also, when you strike it with another piece of flint, creates fire. So Pyroclast is like the thing and the Human Torch kind of combined.
Mm-hmm.
A great character. And then Laura's doing Moltz, a really, you know, one of these kind of quasi, what's the name of the one from X-Men that can like
Husk.
change her form?
Husk. Well, Mystique
yeah.
can change her form. Mystique can change her form, but Husk can rip off her skin. To
There you go. So it's a little bit more like Husk.
Which has
This dude knows every comic book character, and they like
that was
encyclopedic
literally my
knowledge.
job.
Yeah. And so he's the guy that you go to, and you're like, okay, look, I'm making a Latinx superhero, and I don't want to get sued, so this is what I want to do. What's already out there, and he can tell you off the top of his head.
I think Garcia's like that for all parts of my life.
I was gonna say I've done that for several creators where they've come to me and be like, what? And I'm like, well, it's this, but if you change this, you're probably gonna be okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all I want to do is introduce you guys and really quick say, Chispa Comics, the 13, Mashbone and Grifty. These are all projects we hope to come out in 2023, and we're really, really excited about them. And now I want to thank you guys and bring out some more artists. So thank you so much.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, Kevin.
Please go check out their booths in the black box room back there with the rest of MexAmeriCon.
There's not mine.
Quick, before we leave, Kevin, name all the X-Men. Go.
Okay, so first there was Amelia Voigt, who actually joined before Cyclops and Jean Grey. But we don't talk about her. Okay, moving on. All right, thank you guys very much.